All right, number 1. All right, number 1, chapter 4. It's going to be negative 2x cubed times 4x to the 4th. Okay? So my first step, since I'm multiplying, I'm going to multiply the numbers. Okay? So it's this and this. Okay? And that's going to be negative 2 times 4. Okay? So I'm going to get negative 8. Then I'm going to take these two. That's going to be x cubed times x to the 4th, which means I add the exponents. So it's just going to be x to the 3 plus 4, which is 7. And that's number 1. Okay? All right. Number 2. 2x squared y cubed. Okay, all to the 4th power. Well, with this, I've got to do what's in the parentheses, but they're done. So now I do the exponents. It's just the order of operations. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division from left to right, addition, subtraction from left to right. But right now the parentheses are done, so I just do the exponents, and so I bring it to everybody on the block. But you cannot forget the number. You cannot forget the number. This really does have a 1 there. You have to remember that. So it's 2 to the 1 times 2. So the 1 times 2 up there. Then I have the x to the 2 times, sorry, it's not a 2. This is a 4. So times 4. So 1 times 4. And this 2 is times the 4. And then this y is to the 3 times 4. Remember, when we're taking a power of a power, we multiply exponents. And that's what we're doing here. We're multiplying this exponent against this one, and this one. So what I really end up with here is 2 to the 4, x to the 8, and y to the 12. Okay? But then, I need to do my next step, which is take care of the number. And what this number is really 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Because it's 4 2's. Okay? So I need to make sure I do this properly. So it's 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8, times 2, which is 16. 16, 8. X to the 8, y 12. And then that's number 2. Okay? All right.
So you wouldn't add just 2 times 4? Would be 8?
No. Because remember, it's 2 to the 4th. Okay? So it's really, there's 4 2's multiplying against each other. So it's 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8, times 2, which is 16. Yeah, it's really crucial. Remember, exponents tell you how many of the bases there are multiplying against each other. Okay? Good question. Alright, then we come to 3. 12x to the 6th over 2x squared. Okay? So, this is problem number 3. Alright? So now, I'm going to do the math, just like I did before. So, I do the math, and when the math is the 12 divided by 2, which is 6. And the x is divided by the x's. Well, when we divide bases or powers at the same base, we subtract the exponent. So, we're subtracting the bottom from the top. Okay? So what we really have here is 6x to the 4th. Okay? And that's that. Okay? All right. Continue. So now we're on problem 4. Alright. Problem 4. What I have here is one of the harder problems. It's 6 x to the 4th y to the 0 over 2x squared y squared, all raised to the 3rd power. Okay? So, with this problem, again, I need to do what's in the inside first, what's on the inside of the parentheses first. Okay? So, right off the bat, I'm doing 6 divided by 2. And in this case, 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then I do my x's. X to the 4 minus 2 and y to the 0 minus 2. So what I really have here is 3x squared y to the negative 2. And they're still raised to the 3. They're still raised to the 3. So I still need to deal with that exponent on the outside. So that exponent on the outside comes through. And it multiplies all the exponents on the inside. Just the exponents on the inside. So I have 3 to the 1 times 3. So the 1 times the 3. X to the 2 times the 3. So it's the 2 times the 3. And then y to the negative 2 times the 3. Or it's negative 2 times the 3. And what I end up with is 3 to the 3rd, x to the 6th, and y to the negative 6th. So now what I have to do is I need to break down the number. The actual number is 3 times 3 times 3, right? So it's 3 times 3 times 3. There's 3 3's there. And 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. So I have 27 x to the 6th, y to the negative 6th. So I'm going to bring this up here. 27 x to the 6th, y to the negative 6th, because I got to do one last thing. I have to realize that there's a negative exponent. So what I really have here is this whole thing is over 1. So what I got to do is bring this negative exponent down into the bottom and make it a positive exponent. So I rewrite this as 27x to the 6th, y to the 6th, but y is down below. So that's the problem.
So you're always bringing negative down?
Yeah.
What if it's a positive, then you don't?
Nope. Yeah, you always move your negative to the opposite place. If it's in the numerator, you bring it to the denominator. If it's in the denominator, you bring it to the numerator. Okay? But if you do this right, if you do this appropriately, you'll find that you really are only bringing it from the top to the bottom when you're done, because you're always subtracting anyways, right? So that puts it on one line. When we subtract exponents over here, we're putting it on one line. Okay? Subtracted the exponents, we put it on one line. Okay? Alright. 8 minutes, not bad. Okay, we're going to go over here. And again, we're going to talk about problem number 5. Okay? We wanted to get these first 5 done. So, problem number 5, little bit tougher problem. In this case, we've got 5x to the negative 2, y to the 3, raised to the negative 3. Now, just remember on the test, this problem, you might have a negative out here in front of a whole fraction. Okay? So you just treat it the same way. You break it down first. Okay? You break it down first. So, first things first, I do what's inside. But that's done. So, this one's kind of easy. Now I just move to the next step. Bring this through to each one. Don't forget the number. there's a hidden 1 up here. So it's really 5 to the 1 times negative 3. X to the negative 2 times negative 3. And y to the 3 times negative 3. So now what I have here is 5 to the negative 3, x to the negative 6, and y to the negative 9, or actually positive 6, sorry about that. X to the positive, 2 negatives make a positive, and then y is to the negative 9. Okay?
How did y3 turn into a negative?
Because negative times a positive is a negative, and a negative times a negative is a positive. So that's what happened with these. A negative times a positive is a negative. So what I want to do with this one is when I have a number that's raised to the negative, I want to get that to be a positive before I break down my number. So I need to take all these negatives, right? These 2 negatives, and I need to bring them down. Okay? I need to bring them down. So I end up with x to the 6th over 5 to the 3, y to the 9. So now I have them all positive exponents. And my last step in this case is dealing with the 3 5s, or 5 times 5 times 5, which is 5 times 5 is 25, and 25 times 5 is 125. So now I have x to the 6th over 125, y to the 9th. And that is how you do that problem. Okay?